Hello, ladies and gentlemen. KAL back again with another Minecraft Let's Play episode. Currently, we're on Alpha 1.1.2 underscore 01. And in today's episode, we're back in Infdev terrain at our Infdev base. So if you guys remember last episode, we were here, but we came here by accidental death. But now we're actually here with a true purpose. And that is to actually put up my 1, 2, and 3 year anniversary monuments. We had tried to do this last episode, but I didn't have enough materials in my Infdev base to do it. So I had to travel back to Alpha, gather up all the material, and come back here. So this one's going to stay the same. This one is the one that's going to actually change. So we need to break you and replace you with the diamond block. So that's our first one done. Now for the second one, we're gonna build up twice like that. So that's all 3 of them done. So we have our first one that just says the world was created on April 8th, 2020. Then we have our first anniversary, April 8th, 2021. Second one, April 8th, 2022. And then our third one, April 8th, 2023. So next up, we need to finish up these designs here. Last episode, I ran out of, I think, gold. So I had to, go on a huge mining trip to get enough gold and iron to fill up those blocks. This is a very expensive build, by the way, but I think it's very important that I go all out on these and flex out a bit. So I still came up a little bit short on gold that I wanted to put here at the world created date. I don't think I want to put anything on here. In fact, I think it'll look better if we bring this down a block. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. So whenever we get enough gold, we'll probably come back and replace these. But I really like how that came out. And again, we'll just keep continuing it as the world gets older. One of the big projects I'm planning on doing over here on Infdev base is making a museum for all the items and mobs in the game. Now, obviously, currently, there's no way we can keep mobs spawned in. They'll despawn and everything like that, so I'm not too worried about them until we get to future updates. But it does not mean we can't collect every item and block in the game. Now, for some items, we'll have to get creative with, like bedrock and any other blocks that are unobtainable. We'll have to try to be creative in terms of where we place the museum. But right now, we have these chests set up that have all the items that were introduced in each version of Minecraft. So pre-classic, classic, Indev, and then Infdev. And then over at my Alpha base, I have the Alpha items. And that's because we'll make the Alpha Museum over there at the Alpha base. And I think this will be a pretty fun project, but before we even get started on this one, we need to do an even bigger project. You see, there's really only 2 main ways to travel in this day of Minecraft. Either A, you can manually build you a little water road, something like the EAT system or something that Ethos made, or you can use minecart rails. Now, I haven't used minecart rails in so long because, in modern day Minecraft, they're really not as useful as they were back in the day. And I never made like a super long minecart rail track, so I think this will be the perfect time. And what I want to do is just make it from Infdev base all the way back to Alpha base, which is probably like 400, maybe 300 blocks away. That way we can have a quick travel system in between the both bases. We can send supplies in between both of them and do cool stuff like that. So first off, we need to find a place that we're going to build it in the Infdev land. And we're going to build a rail station here first, build a rail station over at the Alpha base, and then we'll work on building the actual rail system itself in between both bases. Now, I guess I could wait until the Nether with Alpha 1.2 and just travel through the Nether, which would be a lot quicker. But I'd like to challenge myself and do something I haven't really tried before in a Minecraft world, which is build a super long minecart rail system. Oh man. So one of the changes I forgot about was that in one of the versions of Alpha we skipped, there was a change made and lava can now set fire to nearby blocks. And there was a lot of lava near our build. Both these ones underneath us. There's a couple probably underneath these blocks somewhere that I covered up. You can see these ones with obsidian and stuff like that. And there's a ton back here in this little cave that's behind where we stored our stuff. And as you can see, it caught fire to everything and destroyed quite a bit of the blocks we had set up here. So at some point, we're going to have to come back down here and fix that up. And I'm probably just going to replace all the wood with like stone or cobblestone or something. So we'll have to figure that out. But for now, we'll just leave it how it is for now in the chaos. And we actually came down here for a couple of tools and supplies. Another thing that changed pretty recently was the recipe for arrows. Previously, you had to use an iron ingot instead of flint, but now it's flint, a stick, and some feathers. Okay, guys, so on the Infdev side of things, I chose a spot to put the minecart station. I think putting it right here is fine. It's not going to block any of the builds, and it should give you a nice view while you're riding in on a minecart into all the different builds we've done here. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the outside. For the outside, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I think I'm mainly just going to use cobblestone. I might incorporate some wood in there somewhere, but we'll see. We made some significant progress. We went ahead and built the building that's going to house our minecart station. We went ahead and started putting out some of the starter rails. I wanted to make this a very scenic route, so it actually takes us underwater, and it'll actually take us beneath the 10-year monument we built way back in like the 10th episode or so. So it'll take us right underneath there, and we'll come back up on the other side. And as you can see, if we get over here, we built some more tracks here leading all the way back to Alpha Base. Now we do have to go back to Alpha Base real quick because I need some redstone so we can hook up the booster tracks at the starting point. And we'll need booster tracks along the whole rail system because there's no booster rails yet or anything that can push us along. So we have to take advantage of a glitch that existed back in these days. We're going to be doing this in chunks. So the first part's going to be me doing the mandatory stuff, which is the rails itself and the cobblestone will be on top of. And the second part will be me coming back, adding the booster tracks I need to add and adding the columns and any bridges I need to make and just adding to the design itself so it's not just floating in the air. And basically, because of a glitch that exists in these versions, we're allowed to place basically whatever we want on top of leaves. So you can see we added torches, ladders, and now I just added a button. And because of these newly added blocks, we should be able to add more stuff to it. So we should be able to do a pressure plate, redstone, a redstone torch, and a rail. And last but not least, a lever. So we're going to leave all those on there, and we'll see what happens as we upgrade the world. Again, as long as no updates occur, I think it should all stay in place. But Minecraft's weird like that, so who knows. So if you want to do this in your own world, the trick is in these versions, if you go to your options, and if you change your graphics to fast, the game will basically make it seem like these act like full blocks, like the leaf blocks act like full blocks, which is why it lets you put stuff on top of it. So if you guys don't know what minecart boosters are, it's an old way of getting around quicker on minecarts before booster rails were added. So right now, the only type of rail that's in the game is the regular minecart rails. So basically, because of how entities work right now, there's a glitch that if two entities are right by themselves, besides themselves, this one will get accelerated with a whole speed. I think it goes up to like 100 blocks that the speed lasts. So basically, if you just set these up every 100 blocks or so, you'll just gain a lot of speed and be able to go without booster tracks for a while. So if I put it like this, push it ahead and get in, you'll see that cart pushes me forward. Note to self, if you're making one of these in these versions of Minecraft Alpha, when you get out of a minecart, you actually spawn on top of it. I forgot that was a change that was made later on. And that's a problem because since this is 2 blocks high, if I accidentally get out of it, you can see I glitched through the block. So to fix that, all we did was just drop where the minecart rail sits at by 1 level. So you can see we dropped it. Now if I get out, I spawn on top of it like this, which works a lot better. I know at some point in Minecraft's development, this gets changed so that you spawn on a block near it. Now we're just gonna do a test real quick to make sure what we have is working so far. So if I click this button, it's just send that off, which sends me off. Yep. Oh crap. Well, note to self to never break the minecart like that when I'm on it. So I honestly think doing the underwater part was the hardest part. The rest of this is just going to be just building this rail in a straight line until we see our alpha base. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Hopefully it doesn't take us as long as I'm thinking it's going to take us, but we'll see. And I think I planned this. Oh crap. Oh man, that might be frequent, me dying while doing that. But what I was trying to say was I think we have enough materials to get us back to alpha base. The only thing that's going to suck is building the columns and the support beams and everything. But it's not like cobblestone is insanely hard to get, so it's a good thing I chose a pretty simple block to find. So we did end up bringing the track all the way back to alpha base. Now we just need to link it up with where we want our alpha base to be. So let's drop down here. And I'm thinking our alpha base comes out of here. And we'll connect back up with it. We finished. We completely linked up the roads between alpha and Infdev base. It took quite a bit of cobblestone, but I still have plenty. I mean, plenty left over, so I shouldn't have to go mining for those or have to make a cobble generator or something. But that's our alpha base right there. And going down this way, leads to our Infdev base. This is just a mistake road I made, so we got to go ahead and tear this down eventually. But we're not worried about that for right now. I'm pretty sure I don't have enough rails to complete this project yet. So we're gonna have to go mining for some iron, and hopefully we can refill my diamonds that I had to use for the anniversary blocks as well. Whew. So after a pretty long mining trip, we got ourselves 2.5-ish stacks of iron, 2 diamonds, and 17 gold. So we got a pretty good haul out of it. And we're gonna go head out over there right now, and hopefully we have enough now to complete it. So we finished. The rail takes us straight to the Alpha base. Now we just need to set up the booster tracks along the track to give us some speed along the way, and we should be golden, guys. This will be phase 1 complete. So this is the last test run. It should be working perfectly now. I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let it play out itself, and let's see if it works properly. So I'm excited, guys. It actually freaking works. It works properly. There was no issues on that ride. It was fast enough. I'm sure there's some efficiencies with speed. If some of you guys can point them out to me, that'd be very helpful. You know, I never really played around with the booster tracks until doing this right now. But I think we're going to call that an episode. So like I said, first phase is done, which was just doing the bare minimum, which was getting the tracks down and everything like that. So the second phase is going to be going through, putting some decoration and actually making this stuff look a bit fancy by adding some support beams, both underwater and on the land sections, and just adding some extra thickness to the track itself by putting some blocks on the side like this, which I think will just give it some extra life and not feel as cramped. So that we should be able to finish that up next episode. So I will see you guys then.